But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. Well, come on, man. That kid was a cakewalk.
Wrong, nigga, wrong. Canelo always has had a problem with boxers. He always struggles when he fights a boxer. Anybody knows that if you can box and take a punch, you gonna give him a hard time. Bud is not one of these guys that's gonna quit.
Bud Crawford soundly defeating Canelo Alvarez. We thought that maybe he could have won by even a further margin on the scorecards. He gets it done unanimously. Teddy, can you put into words what we just saw from Terence Crawford?
Well, the only thing I wonder is if Crawford was born and made in a laboratory.
Floyd Mayweather mocked Canelo Alvarez after his loss to Terence Crawford, saying Canelo is no longer the fighter he once was and has always been overrated, while revealing he confidently bet 50K on Crawford, a gamble that paid off big. Despite the defeat, Canelo remained composed, praised Crawford as a great fighter, and made it clear he isn't done, insisting he feels strong, focused, and ready for whatever comes next, even expressing interest in a rematch to protect his pride and legacy. Media reacted to Terence Crawford's dominant win by calling him possibly the greatest fighter of all time, praising his skills and mentality while placing him among boxing's legends. Veteran trainer Teddy Atlas compared the fight to Canelo Alvarez's earlier loss to Floyd Mayweather, arguing that Canelo has always struggled with quicker, sharper opponents and that Crawford, despite a year of inactivity, exposed his weaknesses with timing, movement, and precision. For Atlas, the result highlighted Canelo's limitations against elite technical boxers, while for Crawford, it added yet another chapter to his growing legacy.
In the beginning, that if you go back, and I know it was a lot of years ago, I get it, but you have to have something to point at. If you go back to when he lost his first fight, of course, Canelo I'm talking about, to Mayweather, it wasn't just that his hands were too slow, his feet were too slow. And he's in there with a guy with quick feet and quicker hands. You know what? It doesn't matter how big he is. What did Ali say? Your hands cannot hit what your eyes cannot see. That was tonight. It was great.
Let's put some context on this.
It was great.
Let's put some context on this victory first. A year out of the ring. I think it was like 13 some odd months out of the ring, okay?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. 2 weight classes. Think about that.
Yep.
He had surgery early at the beginning of the year. Surgery, on the shoulder surgery, right? Not sure which one. And to come in here and to put on that type of performance against Canelo that actually is coming off a performance, right? You expected Canelo to be sharp. He was sharp. However, what Crawford did was he took the air out of the ball.
Yep.
He used this. That's what boxing's about, people. It's about this. Strategy. That's what he had. He used his feet. He understood Canelo every single movement. That's why Canelo couldn't land any shots on him. He knew what was coming. He knew that the looping right hand was going to come from the southpaw position. So what did he do? Hold the phone. He knew that the hook to the body was going to come. What did he do? Block, and he shot up with counters.
One of his great assets that we don't hear about enough. One of those things that are not so easily as immeasurable on paper, but it's eyes. Vision,
focus.
We know the physical ones we talk about and we understand so easily. Speed, power, quickness, legs, all that stuff. But eyes, the radar. This guy's got info.
Journalist Ariel Helwani quickly confirmed the result on social media, posting the official scores: 116, 112, 115, 113, 115, 113. For Terence Crawford's unanimous decision win over Canelo Alvarez, a verdict that reflected Crawford's control even in a close fight. The update spread fast, marking the moment as history in the making, while Teofimo Lopez praised the performance, calling it a clash of 2 of the world's best and insisting the right man won. By saying Crawford now belongs in the top 10 all-time greats, Lopez highlighted the magnitude of the victory, with Crawford's composure, style, and execution earning recognition as a defining moment in boxing history.
How can you gauge it?
Doesn't matter. We saw a great fight tonight, did we not? That's all that matters. 2 guys risked it, and the better man won tonight. That was Crawford.
Terence got it right. Is there no need for a rematch, or do you want to see running back? Because it was pretty good, like you said.
No, it was pretty, it was really good, actually.
Yeah.
So it's up to the jam. He's a jam. He can do whatever he wants.
What do you think happens with Canelo next after this?
What happens to Canelo after this? It don't matter. He's made a big statement for not only Mexico or the pride of Mexico, but for all Latinos right there. So he's done a great job for himself, man. Nevertheless, Crawford is on his way, continuing to create greatness.
Mentally,
What's up?
You fought it for Crawford earlier, and you see the make you fall it like that.
I know boxing. I just know stylistically. I've been in the gym with, I've shared the ring with Canelo, and then I see that. So
They were saying that if he beats Canelo, it could put him as even the greatest of all time. What does that put him in the all-time list, man?
At least top 10.
At least
top 10 or top 15,
Yeah.
easily, you know? There's guys that we may not know of or heard of, like Henry Armstrong. Simultaneously, he was 3 divisions carrying all 3 weight divisions at the same time.
Which performance was better? I don't like to compare them, but Crawford or Mayweather's over Canelo. Like it's just different.
It's just different styles, different looks, you know?
At the post-fight press conference, Canelo Alvarez was asked to reflect on facing both Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, and his response quickly made headlines. He admitted that Crawford impressed him more, especially in the later championship rounds where precision and control are most crucial, even going as far as to say, "I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather." The bold comment both praised Crawford's dominance and reignited debates among fans about how the two legends compare in boxing history.
World of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
In the aftermath of the defeat, speculation quickly grew about Canelo Alvarez's future, as his words and demeanor suggested retirement might be on his mind, especially with Terence Crawford's victory shifting the spotlight of boxing. Many described the fight as a schooling, with Crawford's ring IQ and adaptability allowing him to take control and capture the belt. The win is already being hailed as historic, elevating Crawford into the conversation of the greatest fighters of his generation, while for Canelo, the loss raises serious questions about whether his reign at the top has finally come to an end.
He's going to create history. I told you guys this before he fought Sean Porter. I said that Terence "Bud" Crawford can beat first ballot Hall of Famer and superstar and legend Canelo Alvarez. I've been saying this for years, that Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. And tonight, he did just that. He did just that. Not only did he beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, but he arguably retired Canelo Alvarez, who after the fight, Canelo Alvarez stated that he's done everything that he needed to do in the sport of boxing. When asked do he want a rematch with Terence "Bud" Crawford, Canelo Alvarez said, "It's no need." He gave no indications of a rematch. And Canelo Alvarez stated that he's a Hall of Famer, he's a winner, just being there made him a winner, right? And he stated that he's done everything he needed to do in the sport of boxing. That's what he said. Canelo Alvarez got schooled once again. I told you guys, styles make fights. This particular style of boxers and counterpunchers and movers has historically given Canelo Alvarez problems. And as I told you guys, right? Terence Crawford can fight any which way he chooses to fight. He's just that much more versatile. And everybody didn't believe me. They said I was tripping. Canelo was too big. He gonna knock out Terence Crawford, right? He too big, too strong. Terence Crawford get hit. Terence Crawford don't box, don't move. And I told you guys, when Terence Crawford wants to move and wants to box, right? He can. And he would, right? And guess what? Terence Crawford, I told you guys, when he fought the likes of Victor Postol, right? Y'all said that, oh, he don't move that much. I said, did you look at his fight with Victor Postol? Did you look at his fight with Jose Benavidez? Yeah, well, those guys ain't Canelo Alvarez. And I told you guys, it doesn't matter if they're Canelo Alvarez. It's about Terence Crawford's ability to be able to maneuver around and box in every which manner he so chooses. If he wants to incorporate that style that he boxes and moves, he could. And what did he do tonight? I said Terence Crawford could fight at every level. Didn't I tell you guys that? I said Terence Crawford can fight in mid-range. He could fight on the outside. He could fight on the inside. Canelo Alvarez cannot. Y'all asked me, why aren't you talking about what Canelo Alvarez could do great? And I told you, because we know what Canelo Alvarez is going to do. He's going to fight. He's consistent in who he is and how he fights. Period. I told you guys that.
Boxing legend Andre Ward praised Terence Crawford's win as a historic, generational fight that will be remembered for decades, explaining that nights like these define legacies and separate great fighters from true legends. He was particularly impressed by Crawford's discipline and ability to dismantle Canelo with ring intelligence and composure, framing the victory as a GOAT moment and placing Crawford firmly in the conversation among the greatest fighters of all time.
Terence Crawford, greatness, and beat Canelo Alvarez tonight. What was your thoughts on that performance from Terence?
From Terence Crawford, it's great performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger. He had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, and he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turkey Al-Sheikh for putting it together. Just a great night for boxing.
Yeah. How special a fighter is someone like Terence Crawford? There was no signs of a size disadvantage there. How special?
You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant. And people call me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being successful, not having to do that. His condition seemed impeccable, and his strength was there, the power was there enough to get respect from Canelo. So what more can I say?
What would you like to see him do next? Do you think there's another fight after this?
I'd like to see him be done. What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked. What else are we doing?
Rising star Keyshawn Davis, who sees Terence Crawford as both a mentor and inspiration, reacted with pride and called him one of the GOATs, a title he said was fully earned by such a performance. Davis praised Crawford's flawless execution and discipline, noting how he never allowed Canelo to find a rhythm, and emphasized that the victory proved greatness is built on skill, intelligence, and hard work. His reaction showed how deeply Crawford's win resonates with the next generation of fighters aiming to follow his path.